Hey guys, it's Caitlin here. Okay, so I figured because it's kind of the end of the school year, at least in the US, high schoolers and college students have a lot of tests going on. Me. So I figured this would be the perfect time to just shoot out some tips in case they would help someone. Maybe they'll help me when I look back at this video and force myself to actually follow my own advice, which I don't do enough, unfortunately. But yeah, it also occurred to me that a lot of people are done with their tests, so if that's you, congratulations. I am so excited to be able to relate to you because, I just can't wait to be done. I'm so excited for summer. Anyways, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Caitlin. I do DIY videos every single week, except for like, you know, the occasional advice videos such as this one, but normally I do DIY videos. So if that's something you're into, you should totally join. That would be awesome. Okay, and without further ado, let's get started. Tip number 1 is to memorize information right before you go to sleep. So if you're taking a test that requires any kind of memorization, whether that's through vocabulary or information facts or formulas or whatever, just have a little note sheet like right beside your bed, and right before you go to bed, read it through completely and then just go to sleep, and the next morning you'll remember things so much easier. It's weird, but the best way to remember things is to read them right before you go to bed. Tip number 2, and this one is kind of more personal to me, but if you're someone that gets easily distracted by a crazy environment and you're worried that could possibly be you on test day, what you gotta do is during your study session, just carve out a few minutes, okay, not the whole time, just carve out a few minutes and put on some really distracting noises. I'm just doing construction noises off of YouTube. And then just try doing those practice problems a few times just so that if it for some reason happens on test day and there's some really loud noise in the background or whatever, you don't get freaked out and you're just kind of like, okay, I practiced this, it's all good, this is annoying, but I can get through it and it's not going to distract me. Generally for me, I feel like in a classroom it's okay if there's a bunch of people like aggressively flipping papers, if you know what I mean. I don't normally get distracted by that, but I am kind of concerned because I'm taking an online test and my neighbors have been doing so much construction lately, and I'm like a little worried that like during the test I'm just gonna start hearing like extreme drilling in the background and then just get super distracted and stressed out. Tip number 3, if there's a concept that you're not really understanding, try to explain it to a friend or just do enough research to the point where if you have a friend there, you can just totally explain it to them or teach it to them. In this example, I'm just teaching it to my stuffed animal, but you could also just grab a friend or family member or even just talk to a camera like I'm doing now and just try to explain it to them. Because something about like just you explaining something to someone else just shows that you really understand what you're talking about, otherwise you wouldn't be able to teach it to them. So if you can fully teach a concept to someone else, that's when you know, bam, you got it in the bag because you do understand it completely. Okay, tip number 4, and this one is very similar to tip number 3, but another form of getting yourself to kind of understand things is to make some personalized note sheets. So what I mean by this is don't go on the internet and copy down everything you see, don't go to your textbook and just copy word for word. What you gotta do is make your own note sheet. No copying, but just like organize the information in a way that makes sense to you. And just like the process of doing this will just get you to understand the information a lot better. And if you're like me, you can make the notes super like aesthetic by color coding and highlighting and whatever. You can make them as cute and pretty as you want, or if not, whatever, just make your own notes and you'll find yourself understanding the concept much better afterwards. I find this a lot more helpful than just reading someone else's notes because, you know, you weren't the one that made those notes, so you're just kind of reading through and you might not even be comprehending like half the things you're saying. But if you're writing down kind of your own words, then you kind of have to understand what you're writing down. Alright, and last but not least, study in the way that gives you the most confidence. You know, there are tons of studying methods out there, but I feel like you should really just do what works for you and not listen to what anyone else says. For me personally, well, I kind of want to change this, but the easiest way for me to feel the most confident is just to study for a lot of hours. Now, this is really unnecessary, and a lot of people tell me like, oh, that's just doing too much, but I feel like I kind of need that assurance on test day, even if it was unnecessary. So I know myself, and I know that I need kind of those hours just to gain, you know, confidence, not necessarily information. But for some people, the best way is just to study minimally so you don't get stressed out, or just study everything the night before, or just there's just so many ways to study. Just do whatever gives you the most confidence. Alright you guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you're done with all of your tests, congratulations again. I'm so happy for you and I can't wait to relate to you. Oh. Anyways, have a great week. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video, and yeah, be safe. Bye!